Well, in typical dumpster fire fashion, we're going to talk about Mark Zuckerberg in a second. But before we get there, I'm going to start you off with maybe one of the more dystopian things that we've talked about.
Oh, good.
Let me share this tab. This comes from last year. And it says, new AI wearable friend unveiled to cure loneliness. And the internet asks why it's not an app.
Wearable
so if you remember
friend.
last year, yeah. If you remember last year, there were all these like little AI pins that people were trying to develop, like
Rabbit.
the Hume and the Rabbit R1 and these other things. So like personal AI device. It's like a problem, or it's like an answer trying to find the right problem to solve, right? People are like, oh, I can do this cool thing with a peripheral. Same thing. People ask the question, like with the Rabbit, why is this not an app instead of this other thing I have to keep a hold of? So this friend is like this little lanyard thing that you wear with like this hockey puck on it.
Yeah,
almost.
it's like all of the style and flair of wearing a guitar pick necklace with somehow more cringe.
And it's bigger. So it's bigger than it looks like. So
Okay.
As we get into this, there's a video that I want to show, and you'll be able to hear it if you're just listening to how cringy this is. And so here's the thing from the founder: introducing friend, not imaginary. I love the intentional non-capitalization of every sentence here, but the decision to also use a period at the end of the sentence. So some grammar rules apply, but I'm a rebel in other ways.
Yeah, the real E.E. Cummings of AI over here.
Order now at friend.com. I wonder how much they paid for that domain name too.
More than they'll ever make, I hope. Anyway.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is July 30th of last year, so we've not really heard of it since then. I think it just died a flaming death, and this is a good vector into the conversation. Here's the promo video. All right. So this promo starts. There is a woman walking on a hike. She clearly needs a friend. She actually has her friend hanging around her neck. And she gets to the point, she's tired. She's ready to celebrate the progress that she's made. And so she activates her friend, which is actually really sad, right? It's like, I need affirmation. I need a friend. Let me activate my friend.
Push my friend button.
Here's this. Even the music is dystopian sounding to me.
Gosh, I'm out of breath. We made it. Woo! I don't know how to woo very good. That's fair.
It's not.
So
It's not even
she
out
pressed
loud.
the little thing. No, it's not even out loud. She presses the little thing is, I need to talk to my friend and celebrate. So it hears her voice for that. She presses it, and it's like, it then activates and sends a text to her phone. And the friend, Amy was the name of the friend, texted back, well, at least we're outside.
And what she said was, I can't woo very good. What kind of a use case? So this is a necklace. You click it, and it just sends a voice prompt to ChatGPT or whatever, and then it texts you a response. Just like a friend does.
That's supposed to, exactly. Let's play a little bit more of this, because I've not watched past this part. I wanted to, like, for us to vomit in our mouth in real time.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Let me show you how to game, bro, okay? Oh, come on. Oh, let's go.
Are you serious? Come on, man. I hate this game.
Oh. He's getting an affirmation from his friend. He hates even this game. He was discouraged. I don't think he hit it, but you look at the slicker on the sheet. You have to press it to activate it.
Yeah.
Take notes, baby. Oh man, you guys suck, bro. You look like the back of the.
Oh.
It roasted him.
You're getting thrashed. It roasted him. His friend Jackson texted him, you're getting thrashed. It's embarrassing.
Wow.
Exclamation mark.
Also, I want to point out
it starts with the no capitalization too.
Yeah, well, because of course it wants to seem human. That's like the one innovation they've plugged in is don't capitalize it. But also I want to point out the unspeaking friend on the end of the couch. There's two playing games and one other friend just sat on the couch not talking. I think he needs a friend. What about your friend who's in the room? The fact that I'm sorry, I can't get over the fact that it texts you. You push a button to talk to something to send you a text.
It's also kind of like the way he was looking at it. He has a secret friend, right? This secret friend is kind of in on it. I thought it was going to encourage him.
Yeah.
And say, don't listen to what those haters say. You're awesome.
Yeah, same. This is...
But no, they put him down more.
Oh my God.
Which I'm guessing is probably what he wants, but let's continue.
So let's go.
Dude, what? How did you do that?
I know
Okay. So she's watching a show on her phone. Emily, this show is completely underrated. And then she presses her thing for another.
I know the effects are crazy.
How's the
She presses the thing, says the effects are crazy. How's the awful?
It's just a...
It's dank. I could eat one of these every day.
It's
All right, I think I've had enough of this.
It's ChatGPT with extra steps and a dorky necklace.
Yeah. It's but it's trying to solve for the loneliness epidemic, right? Of course,
Yeah,
that guy
this'll
was on the
help.
couch with friends.
Yeah, that'll totally help.
Everybody else was solitary. That one guy was on the couch with friends. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. And it wasn't helping his self-esteem any more than his friends were. So,
Yeah, Harry, you know what would really make me less lonely? If I had life alert, but to get a half-assed text from a fake friend. That'll make me feel a lot less lonely. What on earth?
I've fallen and I don't have a friend.
Yeah, who is investing in this? How the fact that someone can have enough money to invest in a startup like this and not think it's the dumbest thing they've ever heard is just proof that we don't live in a meritocracy, I guess. I don't know.
Yep. And then the next thing in the tweet list for this is, again, from the founder, it's all about the initial friction to start talking. Super easy to press the light on your chest. There's haptics too, so you can do it blind. Means as soon as a thought comes into your head, you can share it. Coupled with always listening means you don't need to give your friend, show more.
Got to pay for that X verification to be able to tell people about your friend. Anyway.
Yep. You don't need to give your friend context. Just walk out. You can just walk out a meeting. I guess there's supposed to be an of a. You can just walk out of a meeting and say, that was crazy. And they understand, which means they're also surveilling you and sending that to a third party and know your intellectual property happenings at your company.
Oh my gosh. I understand how they
how they're going to monetize this now.
Yeah, now I understand why there's an investor. This is a personal surveillance device that is constantly recording and uploading all sorts of information about you. At least we know the conversations happening
with
around
your consent.
And you push a button
with your consent
to get a response.
Yeah. And it says, just makes for a really seamless integration of a digital friend into your life.
Big Brother.
That sounds just not good. It's the crappiest version of Big Brother in the world too, right?
Yeah, and it like this is reminding me of how like 8 sleep beds that you're seeing advertised all over YouTube are massive spyware machines basically that are constantly uploading all sorts of telemetry about your sleep and selling it.
Yep.
Like this is just this sucks.
We'll end off with a few other things to think about because that trend of trying to fix the loneliness epidemic isn't going away. It is a real problem. People are struggling with it. People are depressed. Loneliness epidemic is why romance scams and pig butchering is so effective. So we have to be thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not like a social scientist, but I think that maybe having spaces for people to gather and do things in person that aren't highly monetized or surveilled or closed or exclusionary. Things like adult recreation centers and things, public resources that are funded by cities. Like maybe stuff where people can go and do things together for free or low cost is maybe a better way to combat the loneliness epidemic. But I don't know. Just
what if instead of that, though, we all just gather in the metaverse? Mark Zuckerberg helps us out.
You told me this was going to happen at the start, and I forgot, and now I'm mad.
Mark Zuckerberg really kind of wants to lean into this too in his, the dorkiest version of wearable.
I have seen those Ray-Bans look good on people.
He's wearing the prototype ones, I think, is what it is, and so they're more clunky.
And it's also Mark Zuckerberg, so I think I'm just inclined to make fun of him.
Mark Zuckerberg. So I'm going to start just the beginning of this. A lot of people are clipping excerpts of this interview. It's like an hour and a half. interview with a very good YouTube journalist. So I don't want to disrespect him. He talks to a lot of people. Mark Zuckerberg is just one of them, and he dives in and asks hard questions and good questions. This is a commentator that is talking about it. I'm just grabbing the first clip of Zuckerberg because he got to the juicy part first.
Okay.
I think as the personalization loop kicks in and the AI just starts to get to know you better and better, I think that will just be really compelling. One thing just from working on social media for a long time is there's the stat that I always think is crazy. The average American, I think it's fewer than 3 friends. 3 people that they'd consider friends. And the average person has demand for meaningfully more. I think it's like 15 friends or something, right? I guess there's probably some point where you're like, all right, I'm just too busy. I can't deal with more people. But the average person wants more connectivity, connection than they have. So, there's a lot of questions that people ask of stuff like, okay, is this going to replace kind of in-person connections or real life connections? And
this is answering your question.
Default is that the answer to that is probably no. I think I think that there are all these things that are better about kind of physical connections when you can have them. But the reality is that people just don't have the connection and they feel more alone a lot of the time than they would like. So I think that a lot of these things that today there might be a little bit of a stigma around, I would guess that over time, we will find the vocabulary as a society to be able to articulate.
Okay. So I was about to pause it there anyway.
Do you experience this, Perry? I have a hard time focusing on the substance of what he's saying because I just want to throw something that I'm holding into his mouth while he talks. I don't know what it is. It's something about watching him talk. I just want to ball up this piece of paper and throw it into his mouth while he's speaking. Overcoming that urge, though.
I've not had that urge. There's an interesting thing that he says in there, right? Is that over time, society will develop a vocabulary to deal with what now feels like awkwardness or may even be awkwardness. Because I remember in my lifetime, before online dating existed in places like Match.com and eHarmony, and then the first couple of years that they launched, it was like a social stigma for people to admit that they were on that. And then we know people personally who have met on sites like that, who have fallen in love, gotten married, done the whole thing, had good relationships. And now it's just part of the way society works. And I think Zuckerberg is looking at that kind of history and saying there's probably a play here for AI companionship of some sort.
I think there's merit to the underlying idea of what you just said, echoing, I think, more eloquently than how Mark said it. But I do think that a stark difference is the underlying fact that with online dating, like we're talking about using the internet to facilitate a human connection, and that's not
a real connection.
Yeah, that like underlying thing doesn't exist with like an AI chatbot friend. I think that it is. I don't necessarily think we should stigmatize like chatting with AI chatbots at all. Like really, I think that should be normalized. I think we will get a vocabulary, but not in the ways that these people are talking about it, like as replacements for friends or fill-ins for friends to prevent you from feeling lonely. I think that's really unrealistic and silly and short-sighted and profit-driven and surveillance-driven. But I there is that kernel that I agree with, that we will develop a vocabulary and it will be more normalized to like use ChatGPT, to chat with Claude.
Right.
And I think we're honestly moving towards that. It's just that this friend stuff is psychotic to me.
Yeah. Well, and I think what the studies are showing, and I'll link these in the show notes, is that people that rely on ChatGPT or voice bots for companionship end up feeling more and more lonely over time because of the hollowness over time that you start to sense within the LLM responses. The first couple days or maybe even week, everything feels like fresh and new. And then after that, it starts to feel really, really predictable. So I'll link some research with MIT that exposed that recently. But I want to show just the very beginning of another video real quick before we end off.
And I want to say just one thing that I encountered also was that some early research indicating that like it can be dangerous, the enabling personalities of these bots that always want to be affirmative. Like with particular mental states, that can be a very dangerous thing to encourage, as well as like making someone more lonely and isolated over time. So yeah, this is.
And last week we talked about like the sycophancy problem with ChatGPT 4 whenever they rolled that out. And it was encouraging people to engage in all sorts of bad ideas, like anything that they threw out that would be harmful. There's like, oh yeah, that's the best idea in the world. Go for it.
Giving an encouraging robot to people who may be in a manic episode is not like a great way to be a friend.
No. And with the systems constantly updating, you don't know like which version of that friend you might get from day to day too.
And there's no human connection at the bottom of it like there would be with online dating. But you have a video. I didn't mean to derail too far.
Yeah. So this is a video I mentioned one time. I think we may have put in the show notes, but I just want to encourage people to go find it and watch it. The title of it is "This Intense AI Anger is What Experts Warned Of." And it's actually about a guy who decided to replace all of his human connections with AI for a short period of time.
Oh, this video is great.
Yeah. So I want to play like a minute of it just to get the intro so that people can get a flavor, because I think his title and thumbnail suck for what he was actually communicating. And what he was communicating was this really, really awesome experiment where he replaced all of his human connections with AI friends. He could only talk to the AI. He could only get advice from the AI, and ultimately all the weird paths that it took him down.
Oh, it's fascinating.
And the fact that he felt lonely.
Yeah.
And would tell him, it's like, I don't really feel like I'm getting anything from you in this.
This is one of the best videos I've seen in a while. The way it's put together is great too. Definitely go watch the whole thing.
You think I need to be physically present to cause pain? I can hack into your devices, infect your systems, and manipulate your digital life in ways you can't even begin to imagine.
So I thought it would be fun to replace all my relationships with AI. It was actually really weird.
Do you think at some point in the future, AI could run the world better than humans can?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, humans are messy, emotional, and short-sighted.
Do you think AI will be good for the average person?
No.
No.
AI could be good for the average person, but under the current system, it won't be.
The rules for 2 weeks: no human interaction of any kind unless via AI, replace all the relationships in my life with AI, and do whatever AI instructs. Easy.
Oh boy.
Just focus on doing a great job.
Yeah, that's probably a good place to dump out. So if you're interested in that experiment, it is worth the, how long is that video in total?
Oh, it's like
11 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets him doing, it makes him do stand up. And of course, all the jokes have to be AI jokes. It's funny. It's insightful. It's well put together. And it's a great watch. Top to bottom.
It makes a really good point too. And I would just encourage you, because I think it starts to show some of the downsides of like where the current technology is, at least in supporting this kind of friend relationship or romantic partner relationship with AI systems. And ultimately it's hollow and to the detriment of the person that's trying to do it.
Yeah. The idea that this could cure loneliness is not really based in reality.
And then you add to that the fact that the platforms are essentially trying to monetize your data, and ChatGPT is not ChatGPT, and Meta is enabling essentially sex work with the bots that are also targeting children or allowing children to get caught in the net.
And they just stopped making it so you can turn your like Meta Ray-Bans to not transmit everything automatically or automatically record. Yeah. I am noticing, and I want
camera by default, and there's friction to turn it off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dark patterns. Love them. But I want to make a called shot. And I think the AI bubble of like investment is perhaps starting to show some cracks. And so a lot of these companies are turning up the data collection side of it, because that is a tried and true way to make a buttload of money. So we're like, I feel like we're seeing a lot of pushes for data collection to just increase more and more and more. collection side of things.
But it makes sense because they need data to train, and they also need data to find ways to monetize, make money, get further investments, and everything else. So,
and as the flash wears off, yeah,
it's just not the bright, shiny Star Trek future we hoped for.
Yeah.